Perhaps Princess Caroline's move to protect her privacy was inspired by the experience of the late Diana, Princess of Wales, who sparked a passion so powerful within the media that they literally hounded her to death. After the media circus that accompanied her separation and divorce from Prince Charles in 1996, she aired her grief about the intensity of the press's obsession.
When I started my public life 12 years ago, I understood the media might be interested in what I did. I realized then their attention would inevitably focus on both our private and public lives. But I was not aware of how overwhelming that attention would become.
No doubt she couldn't quite comprehend how such a shy and unremarkable young woman had managed to ignite a global obsession with her every move. Certainly, she did not possess the film star looks and poise of a Monaco princess, nor could she dazzle with the accomplishment and wit at the disposal of Princess Margaret. In fact, she often joked about her lack of aptitude at Riddlesworth Hall School, although by all accounts she was very happy there.
I made many friends who I often see, and in spite of what Miss Fudge and my other teachers may have thought at the time, I did actually learn something. So you would never have known by my O-level results.
Indeed, it may well have been Princess Diana's very lack of extraordinary recommendations that made her so accessible to the people in the street, who quickly crowned her their Queen of Hearts. The love affair with the People's Princess began back in 1980, when she was plain old Lady Diana Spencer, a 19-year-old nanny sharing a flat with friends in London, who just happened to be dating the future King of England.
Is there any possibility?
Her relationship with the overzealous press got off to a tentative start with a shy smile and a nervous wave.
How well are you coping with all the press attention?
Well, as you can see, you can tell.
Are you bearing up with it quite well, though? Because it must be quite a strain with all of us after you.
Well, it is, naturally.
You're coping with it all right, though? You seem to be doing very well.
Well, I'm still around.
And she had no intention of going away. In February 1981, Buckingham Palace announced Diana's engagement to Charles, and a happy couple embraced photo opportunities to show off the walnut-sized £30,000 ring consisting of 14 diamonds and a sapphire. Charles recalled his first impressions on meeting the 16-year-old Diana.
I remember thinking what a very jolly and amusing and attractive 16-year-old she was. And having great fun and bouncy and full of life and everything. And I don't know what you thought of me.
Pretty amazing.
But during the lead-up to their wedding in July, it became clear that the down-to-earth and disarming Diana had already eclipsed her royal fiancé in the public consciousness. Her fresh-faced sincerity and sense of fun were overdue antidotes to the guarded, stiff upper lips of the monarchy. On the day of the royal wedding, people were chanting her name in the streets. The nation was given the day off, and crowds lined the streets to catch a glimpse of the fairy tale bride. Resplendent in her Emmanuel gown, complete with 25-foot train, the brand new princess emerged from St Paul's Cathedral to the cheers of thousands of fans, totally smitten with her naive charm and cheeky smile. Over the next few months, she consolidated her relationship with the public, both at home and overseas. On walkabouts with Charles, she was always a huge hit with the crowds. And in less than a year, she'd done her duty to the royal family by presenting it with a healthy heir to the throne. In her obvious affinity with children, the public found yet another reason to adore her. Then there was her courageous compassion. In 1987, when AIDS patients were being demonised by the press, Diana was holding their hands.
HIV does not make people dangerous to know, so you can shake their hands and give them a hug. Heaven knows they need it.
Along with all the media proof of her tireless dedication to good causes and charity work, came stories that she also visited the sick in secret, begging nurses and patients not to let on to the press. With public opinion on her side, she went on to win even more hearts as reports emerged that Charles was carrying on an affair with his old sweetheart, Camilla Parker Bowles. While there were also plenty of stories of Diana's alleged infidelities, many magazines and tabloids chose to contend that she was merely acting out of loneliness. This line was bolstered by stories about her battles with bulimia and multiple suicide attempts. She was being stalked by telephoto lenses and media speculation. In an attempt to redress the balance, she approached biographer Andrew Morton to tell her side of the story, depicting Charles as a neglectful and unfaithful husband. After that, it was only a few short months and the odd awkward public appearance before Prime Minister John Major announced their separation. Even under the intense glare of the spotlight, she continued to use her public profile to raise awareness of issues that had been swept under the carpet by polite society for years. And she wasn't afraid to speak from her own agonising experience.
I have it on very good authority that the quest for perfection our society demands can leave the individual gasping for breath at every turn. This pressure inevitably extends into the way we look. Eating disorders, whether it be anorexia or bulimia, show how an individual can turn the nourishment of the body into a painful attack on themselves.
Despite her pleas for privacy, the media's obsession with her continued, as did her own obsession with body image. Her increasingly frequent trips to the gym were always accompanied by a gaggle of photographers desperate to add fuel to one of the many rumours making the rounds about her private life. After her separation, the press had her linked with every man she came into contact with, from rugby captain Will Carling and singer Bryan Adams, who won Carlos I of Spain and John F. Kennedy Jr. And while she may have cut down on her public engagements, she certainly didn't abandon those causes that had always been close to her heart. In January 1997, these pictures of her visiting a landmine site in Angola were flashed around the world, bringing much-needed publicity to the issue of unexploded landmines in war-torn territories. 7 months later, she went on another visit to meet landmine survivors in Bosnia. For one last time, she managed to turn the relentless media pressure into a positive. Just days after the Bosnian trip, she lay dying in a dark tunnel in Paris, surrounded by the rapid-fire click of automatic cameras that had punctuated almost every waking moment of her adult life. Torn from her adoring public in the prime of life, she was guaranteed to continue her reign as the undisputed Queen of Hearts.